Our sacred grounds. I have constructed this prototype of paradise as a place of rest and tranquility for the world's weary ones. Once the divine light of God spreads and permeates the whole world, all humanity will be given new life. I wish to invite all those who are suffering to this paradise. Come and stay, even if for a little while. The need for people everywhere to be provided with quality entertainment and recreation has long been recognized. Nonetheless, in today's society, too much of it is of a vulgar, unrefined nature. While theater, movies, sports, board games, and other games of skill, of course, can be acceptable, even beneficial, as such, I believe that entertainment and recreation on still higher levels is especially important. In light of this, I think the prototypes of paradise on Earth, which we are constructing in Hakone and Atami, will satisfactorily fill the need. They will be ideal paradises in which natural beauty and man-made beauty are combined. Thus, once people visit these beautiful places, their hearts and minds, which have been soiled by the low vibrations of the materialistic world, will be cleansed. Their spiritual beings, which have been almost completely dried up, will be refreshed, their lives renewed, and spirits invigorated. As a result, they will not only be able to do their work more efficiently, but their moral sense will naturally be elevated as well. The contribution that these miniature paradises can make toward the betterment of one's mind will be, I believe, of no ordinary degree.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters. Meishu-sama talks about prototypes. In this book, Meishu-sama, The Life and Mission of Mokichi Okada, I would like to refer to a passage regarding the prototypes of paradise, so we can understand why Meishu-sama envisioned that, why it's so important. The spiritual center of Meishu-sama's work is to the world as the seed is to its fruit. To change the fruit, the seed must first be changed. To transform the earth into a paradise, a prototype of paradise must first be created in the spiritual realm. Then it can become fully manifested on earth. It is like throwing a stone into the center of a pond. The stone will start a circular ripple that continues to spread outward. Similarly, to make the world a paradise, it is essential to first establish a small spot that corresponds to the spiritual center of a worldwide paradise. This prototype will be reflected in the spiritual realm, and there it will be established as a firm spiritual core for the material realization of paradise. Therefore, humanity's positive cooperation with God's plan is vital. The change from the current chaotic situation on earth to a state resembling paradise will be very gradual. Think of the seed of a plant, which grows imperceptibly but steadily, without a moment's pause. To an observer, it does not seem to be growing. There seems to be no motion, yet it becomes a tree or a shrub. The significance of establishing miniature paradises is indicated in the prototype principle. Thus, when a miniature paradise is completed here on earth, it is mirrored in the spiritual realm as a prototype, in accordance with the law of the oneness of the spiritual and the physical. This condition is reflected back into the physical realm to expand gradually on a worldwide scale. I had the permission, wonderful permission, when I was 16 years old. In 1979, there was this event in Guarapiranga when there was nothing there. So as a youth member and with members of my Jewelry Center and the Jewelry Centers in the São Paulo area, we were asked to go there to volunteer to remove weeds on that land. That land, where it is the Guarapiranga Sacred Grounds, was purchased in 1974, but until the time 1979, not much had been done. And in fact, the thought of purchasing that land was to be the site for the headquarters of our movement in Brazil. Then, as years passed, while some ministers were visiting the sacred grounds and met at that time Meishu-sama's daughter, who was then the spiritual leader, Meishu-sama, they made a request if it wouldn't be possible to have an ancestor's shrine built at that place. Because the members felt, okay, when we do what we call enshrinement of our ancestors, so these requests are sent to the sacred grounds in Japan, where they receive very special prayers for their spiritual elevation. But these ministers felt it wouldn't be nice to have an ancestral shrine, so that the members, in that case in Brazil, would be able to feel closer to their ancestors by praying at an ancestral shrine. And then Meishu-sama at that time took those words into consideration, and upon making her missionary trip, which was in September of 1985, after this huge gathering, 50,000 people were there, and 2 days passed, and she wanted to have a closer look, a closer inspection to that land. And she was standing on a plateau. From this plateau on that land in Guarapiranga, she could see the man-made lake, the reservoir that is over there, that is called Guarapiranga Reservoir. And there was an island, small island, in front of her view. And at that exact moment, there were some fire going on that island. Some bushes were caught on fire. So she could see fire from that distance, and then she saw the water on the reservoir, and this flat, the plateau, this land where she was standing. Then she received this message. She had the intuition. Fire, water, soil. This place here is meant to be a sacred ground, not just to have ancestors' shrine. And then she gave the assignment to the members who were, and ministers, who were so surprised. They wouldn't expect sacred grounds. The idea was that sacred grounds were only in Japan, the ones that Meishu-sama created, these prototypes. So when they received this mission, they felt, okay, we will do our very best. So what makes a place suitable to be a sacred grounds? Of course, there should be natural beauty around, but to make a place really according to what we consider to be a sacred ground requires the dedication, the effort of each member, each person. Let's suppose if somebody with a big heart, very good intention, and has a lot of money, or wins the lottery, something, and decides to make a huge donation for the construction of the sacred grounds, and then would think of hiring a construction company a landscaper, and so on. So these potential sacred grounds would have the energy of only 1, 2 people or hired individuals that would be doing the job. But that is not enough. That's not according to what we believe should be a sacred ground. Of course, when you see pictures of let's say Guarapiranga sacred grounds or Saraburi sacred grounds in Thailand, you see the huge temples, all those bigger constructions. We have the pillars in the Guarapiranga sacred ground. They had to be done by professionals, by a construction company, of course. But so much of the landscaping, the garden, the flowers, the trees were all planted by members. And in fact, when these flowers, the lawn over there were all planted, those groups that coordinate the effort of the volunteers can testify if a small group of individuals, let's say 10 people, would be assigned to plant flowers in a specific area. They could probably do it in just a few hours. But in order to involve more people in the process, okay, instead of 10, let's have 50 people to be assigned. So you take this flower bud here, you pass to the other individual, and so on. So that is more work, but the energy that is created with the participation of many people is what can transform the place into a sacred place. So it's that love, that dedication, that energy. And that was the vision of Meishu-sama. Starting from a small prototype, Hakone Sacred Ground was the very first one, and is the smallest of the other sacred ground that we have already. We have Hakone, we have then Atami, we have Kyoto, we have Guarapiranga, we have Saraburi in Thailand, and the future sacred grounds in Cacoaco in Angola. So, and more to come. Our future sacred grounds here in the United States and in Canada. That's part of our vision. We believe these prototypes already happen in the spiritual realm. Now it's up to us to manifest, to have the permission to have them here on earth. And by doing our practices of faith, of the Jorei, of guiding our family and friends, that will be one way of helping this manifestation. Regarding our family, friends, relatives, co-workers, I'd like to ask you to keep sharing the videos we have. We have our Miroku TV. Yesterday, we posted another video, was Jorei Happiness. This morning, we posted one more. It is the theme of our founder. So I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet, and share with your friends, give your like. And it's important to, when you give that like or share the link or you subscribe, you do with consciousness. It's not just, oh, okay, Minister asked, I will give a like. No, thinking that this like, you are connecting to Meishu-sama at the same time. Or when you are sharing with someone, you're thinking, maybe that person will be acquainted with Meishu-sama. With Meishu-sama's teachings, will receive light through the teachings. So it is for helping others. So it's a way of guiding others as well. I can guide my friend, my neighbor, when I have direct talk, when I try to give Jorei to that person. But through this way, and especially in this with the pandemic, with the quarantine, with the lockdowns, how can I effectively have a one-to-one meeting? Sometimes it's difficult, but if I, from the comfort of my home, perhaps I can visualize I'm helping others, I'm sharing these opportunities of others receiving light. This is what I would like to ask you. Thank you for your participation today, and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.